Hello, everyone. Welcome. We just watched the Switch 2 Direct. We streamed it over on twitch.tv/KenRonto7. Chemist, you have the VOD up?
I will do.
Fair to say that it can be promoted or even uploaded as a
Yeah,
backup, whatever.
It'll be in the description of this video as like an unlisted thing.
Yeah, because you could hear me almost faint. It's Kirby Air Riders. But yeah. So, what'd y'all think overall of the Switch 2 Direct?
Pretty good.
Yeah, I think
There was one game that I was really looking forward to, and I knew it was going to be there. So,
the stuff that was in the Direct, I am very happy with. There's some weird stuff outside of the Direct that's a little less ideal, but pricing and like how pre-orders work and things like that. But we'll get to it. The Direct itself was not quite faint-inducing for me, but it was pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, they start right off the bat with Mario Kart,
of course.
right into gameplay. And they did pretty much what I was hoping they would do with it in terms of going open world, adding a bunch of new modes to it rather than just Grand Prix. And Ebby's wish, costumes.
Costumes, yeah. I didn't say this in the pre-stream because I didn't want to embarrass myself if it didn't happen, but I was like so confident that we were going to get at least some of the costumes from Tour.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I was like, I don't know if it makes sense, because then if like some characters didn't get as many costumes, then they'd have to make a bunch more. So like, I don't know, maybe whatever. And then we got it, and I'm really happy because Tor died, so I still get to have cool costumes for the characters I like.
Yeah, I guess
a new game.
Like, because I was like, how are you gonna unlock all those costumes? Because it used to be like the coins from doing the race. You could buy the cart bits. I guess if you find like that, maybe there's just a whole load of stuff out in the open world to like item boxes you find and you unlock someone's outfit or whatever.
Yeah, I think that's cool, because if it's like you have to be playing as a character and you like, an item and then you use the item and you get a new costume, then that's sort of like encouraging you to try out different weights of characters and different characters and stuff. I think that's cool, considering it seems that there is 5,000 characters that you can play as in this game.
So is that what you think that... Because, so in the trailer, Mario eats a burger and becomes American. So do you think that that's like unlocking the costume? Or do you think that the costumes are like temporary, or that is an actual item?
I think that So my theory is that because we saw like Birdo go into a truck and then the truck started moving, is that when you do stuff like that, you might find items that you then use to permanently unlock the costume for a character, is my theory. I don't know if that's true. If I'm wrong, then Nintendo should have come to me for advice. My idea sounds great.
Especially since there's a big open world to explore. I imagine there's tons of unlockables to find out there. I'm sure they wouldn't just make it empty. You know, drive around, it's fun. I'm sure there'll be secrets and little things and wall riding, accessible areas out in the open world that you could jump around and explore to find things like that. To make it worth doing beyond just taking cool pics with your friends.
With your bros. Well, because if you don't have friends, why would you go out in the world?
Yeah.
Just be like, oh yeah, I'm taking pictures on my own next to this rock. I mean, did they start with Mario Kart, or did they start with game chat?
They started with Mario Kart.
Yeah, okay. Mario Kart, then into game chat, yeah. Because then they showed the game chat stuff working in tandem with Mario Kart, and then expanded out into some of the other enhancements that they will be adding. So the console comes out June 5th. I guess we'll say right off the bat here before we continue. Did we want to talk about the console itself before we get into more games? Or...
yeah, probably.
Yeah, smart. I was assured that there would not be dual mouse wielding.
Yeah, they mouse maxed. They're mouse maxing.
Listen, I thought there's no way that they're gonna make you use both for anything. That'd be silly, you know.
Mm.
Both as mouse, silly, and then they showed that
Yeah, there is
that
a
is in
game.
fact an option.
How do I configure my setup to use
I-
two?
I barely have enough room for my
yeah.
like computer mouse.
Like, what is the
so-
assumption? Like, what did Nintendo assume someone's lounge looks like? Right?
Unless you can do it like on the couch cushions, like you don't have to have like a mouse mat.
Maybe.
know?
Yeah, so
But like, then is the fluff gonna get in the sensor and mess stuff up?
yeah. So I wasn't like looking. I mean, I guess I was. It sounds like I wasn't watching it, but like but like I was reading chat and talking to you guys and like my trying to examine every inch of the screen. But like, did they show like the bottom of the Joy-Con enough to see where is the sensor? Is it an optical laser? Is it just like a little
It's an
fucking
optical sensor that's in between the SL and SR buttons.
Oh, is it a hole?
I don't think they showed us an angle that we could tell.
Because
Like
on my
whether
Logitech
it's-
mouse, it's a hole.
Yeah.
That's why I don't want anything to get in there. Because like sometimes my roommate gets crumbs all over the couch.
Yeah, okay, yeah,
and,
your
like,
roommate.
fire.
Yeah.
And yeah, dude, I'm a crumbless guy. I live a crumbless life, so I would naturally live a crumbless mouse life as well.
Mm.
Do you like eat cookies over the sink and stuff?
I like cradle my hand under my mouth when I eat stuff that's crummy.
That's what I have the beard for.
Yeah.
I'm a crumb maxer. So
Mm.
I'm crumb maxing.
Yeah.
Because like I'm looking at my desk right now, and like I can move stuff out of the way, but I would like to play it on the same display I play like my PS5 on and everything.
Mhm.
And then to do that, to use the mice, if I'm mouse maxing and I'm using two, I'm gonna have to like move the monitor back and like use its swivel to like lift it up. It's gonna kind of be a pain in my ass unless I get like a
actually, yes, I found the solution.
Lap
Get a
tray.
glass mouse pad
Mm.
or a ceramic mouse pad.
for like the living room area, like to,
Yeah.
Because
no
I was
crumbs
thinking,
in-
I was
no crumbs in
thinking
the hole.
because they hadn't like officially told us there was mouse support right until today. I was like, am I just gonna buy like a dinner lap tray, like when you're having your food at the lounge, and it's just like I'm sitting with this now. But
I think maybe a ceramic mouse pad might be a better idea because you'd probably get more use out of it
mm,
as what it's intended for.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that I'm ready to buy a ceramic mouse pad on top of the Switch and Mario Kart immediately, but depending on how it like turns out, that might be an option. I don't know. That's not what we're supposed to be talking about.
No. I mean, the handheld itself is more oomphy than I would have expected, right? Because they said 1080p 120.
Yeah, 120 up to 120 FPS, HDR support, and it's an LCD screen, which I know some people are disappointed with. I would have liked an OLED, but I get it. They'll sell you another one later down the line. I think that's the only thing that makes me disappointed that it's not OLED off the bat, is that I know they're going to make like a better version of this at some point with
But-
an OLED screen, and
Okay,
I'm
so
spending $450 on this thing, and it's like, I wouldn't mind.
well so yeah, price. It's like if they release the OLED right now, if we're assuming that they are going to have to uplift it, that's going to be like $500, and that's
No,
a
and I
lot
didn't-
to be like, oh yeah, we're not going to even offer like a basic bitch version. You pay $500.
I didn't upgrade my Switch one. I kept my launch Switch forever. So I was resistant that time around. So
Yeah.
I feel good about myself being resistant again. But
I did kind of resist on the assumption that the Switch 2 would be OLED though.
fair.
But I mean, like the Switch 2 screen is also it is better
Now-
by like quite a ways by like pixel density as well, right? Compared to so
Yeah.
even if you're not getting like inky blacks and
with
like
HDR
perfect color
support.
with HD,
So-
with HDR, you could probably get away with it perfectly fine.
Valve did a really good update. So Valve did the Steam Deck and the Steam Deck OLED eventually, like a year later or so. They also put out an OS patch for the LCD Steam Deck that like improved the color of the display. I don't know how all that science shit works. So I was gonna say color density. Is that the right time to say that? I don't know.
Yeah, sure.
But and it looks really really nice.
Mm.
So, like, with HDR support, with the increased resolution, there's a chance this thing looks pretty goddamn good anyway. So, I just wish it was glass. Then again, we didn't get confirmation it's not glass, but I wish it was glass. Because plastic scratch is really easy and it freaks me out talking it, so it makes me have to get a screen protector.
That's fair.
But yeah, I got almost a 7.9-inch screen, 256 gigabytes of storage.
It's quite a bit more.
How big are Switch 2 games going to be?
I guess, like, looking at the price now, considering, like, I don't know, cost of living increases and stuff, the price doesn't seem that bad when you realize how much of an upgrade it is on storage and screenness and stuff.
Yeah, price of the
really
console didn't surprise me too much. Like, I was expecting in the 400. No, I'm speaking in US dollars here. If you couldn't tell by my accent, like $400. So like 450 is like kind of within that give or take range for me when I'm thinking of like what I expect it to be. I guess we can talk about pricing right now. You can rip that Band-Aid off right now in general, talking about the hardware and everything. The bundle with Mario Kart for US is $500. So $50 extra for the game.
Yeah. But
now,
the physical game is 80?
Yes.
Okay.
And there's things that are unclear on. Some people are saying that the digital's 70. Some people are saying the digital's 80. Got Jeff Keighley tweeting out that the digital's 80. I don't know what the fuck where Jeff Keighley's getting his information from either. This is why I kind of wish they would have done it themselves a little more and like have a page with pricing and everything that's 100% laid out, because people are just kind of picking and pulling from people's tweets and Discords and Reset Era and Reddit and all these places, and like I don't know what's what.
So in the UK, the physical copy of Mario Kart is £75 and the digital is £66.99. Or so it's 67, sorry. So, and then the uplift on the bundle version is £35. So you're saving 50%.
It's wild. That's the other thing. It's like it's almost like a no-brainer for me to buy the bundle.
Which sucks for certain
physical adopters, yeah.
Certain peoples in this call. It's just a weird way to go. And also for them to not have the same price for digital as they do physical.
I think they're trying to push people more towards like the digital market with the like game share thing that they announced in the last direct, and now the fact that digital games are cheaper, which is not ideal for me because I'm a physical collector. I have been since the N64. I always will be. So it's just going to cost me like a bit more money for stuff than usual. But I don't know. I don't know that I'm going to be buying games as frequently as I was with the Switch. If they're going to cost like 20
to
more.
30 quid more. Yeah. Yeah, it'll be interesting.
That's definitely the negative take. Like I tweeted out before we started recording this. Her skeeted blues posted, whatever the fuck you call it on Blue Sky. I'll just always call them tweets. I can't help myself.
Yeah.
It's become a verb. You can't stop it. I tweeted out like my only negative and question from it was the game pricing. Console pricing is one thing. I mean, I know I'm going to be dropping a fat chunk on hardware. It just whatever. It is what it is. But like game pricing is weird. And then like the Donkey Kong pricing being a little cheaper, apparently.
Yes.
Again, I haven't seen.
So the physical version of Donkey Kong is the price of Mario Kart Digital.
Okay.
And then it's £8 cheaper.
Which is interesting because like to me that like Donkey Kong Bonanza was like their last game of the show, and it looks like a very large game. It's Donkey Kong's first big, like headlining showstopper type of game since what?
64.
Gay 64. Like, if
I
you
don't know.
even call that a showstopper, I mean,
I don't think it was stopping any shows back then,
so
to be honest.
like, it's interesting to me that that's cheaper than. I mean, Mario Kart. They probably know everyone's gonna buy that no matter what. So maybe it's like, yeah, we can get the extra. But like, it's just.
I just don't understand why the bundled version of it is so much cheaper.
Yeah.
I guess it's to make it more appealing.
I mean, it is very appealing, to
Yeah.
be fair.
Yeah. I would say the majority of people are probably going to be buying that one, just out of impulse in general. Like, oh, it comes with that, boom, holidays and whatever else. Because it would be crazy if it was like $530, and it's like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
the fuck is that? But yeah, I mean, besides that hiccup, pricing hiccup, which is in context of the world today with tariffs, which even if it's not due to tariffs, even if it's just Nintendo being a little finicky, I hope the narrative online becomes that it's for tariffs, so that
and that works for you. It doesn't work
So
on us quite so much.
so gamers could put a little pressure on the world and realize they. Never mind, I'm not getting into it.
Yeah,
But
no, I mean, like I said, like the Switch has been £280, whatever, $300 since day one, and things have happened in the last 8 years. It was always going to be more expensive, and it's also more stuff in general.
Yeah, I
The
just
games I
don't think
don't
I was
understand.
expecting it to be as close to 400 as it is for us.
That's fair. I think also like with games, the games being more expensive as well, it's just like a little bit harder of a pill to swallow because obviously Sony has been charging more for their games for a while, right?
Yeah.
And it's just been like, oh, maybe Nintendo will keep in that $60, £50 range, and for them to be like, no, it's just a bit.
Tears of the Kingdom was their first. Tears of the Kingdom was $70 for me. I don't know how much it was in the
60.
in the UK, but
So it was more expensive than normal, but not like a lot.
yeah.
Cartridges
I mean,
are red.
hey,
That's another thing.
Yeah. To indicate
know
faster
what?
speeds too. They might taste better.
If it's off-putting to scalpers, I'd pay that as like a scalper tax, if I can buy the thing.
Are you talking about like the game prices being more expensive?
Yeah, I know that games is not usually scalped, but if it puts people off the initial like wave of buying Switches because the games are expensive, less profit to be made, I'll take it.
That's I bought a PS5 Pro, and I think its price was a big reason why I was able to just get one without
Because no one was wanting it.
So, I guess there is a little possible silver lining to things being a little more expensive in terms of like, oh, I can actually just walk in and buy one, because people are less likely to try to flip it. But who am I kidding? The Switch, Nintendo stuff will probably always fall into that.
I mean, I guess it just depends on how hard it is to get pre-orders done.
Yeah. Which again, speaking of, we don't really have much info on retailer availability on that. We got the Switch My Nintendo Store stuff that you could sign up for, and hope to God you qualify as like a Nintendo MVP with your account settings and whatever else they qualify.
If I was the head of the family, I sure would. I'm positive.
Yeah. The only one that I mean, to be fair, with all the Jamboree that we've been playing. Maybe I've
Playtime
snuck up.
wise, yeah. I mean, I got almost 50 hours in Xenoblade and all the Jamboree, so I feel confident in my playtime. But I don't know about anything else. I don't remember what my accounts are set up like. But yeah, I mean, hey, the prices make sense because someone's got to pay for that handle. The handle on the back's not cheap.
Yeah, I mean, I hope that your hinge is strong, Bill. I hope that those screws don't fail on you. Yeah, but you know how like first iteration consoles are. Like sometimes there's just like weird bugs. So you might just get a dodgy handle.
Yeah, physically the console looks cool. I think.
Yeah. I do hope that the stand is much better than the original Switch's was.
Yeah.
That thing was not good.
No.
It was flimsy. Touching the original kickstand of the Switch, it felt like I felt like I had Shrek strength because it felt like I could just break.
Well, and because you had to pull it open to get to the SD card, and you're like, I've got to risk breaking my kickstand just to expand my storage.
Now, from what I understand, it is quite a bit better on the OLED. So I'm hoping they've learned and iterated on that idea. It being the length of the system is nice.
Yeah.
You know, not being like a freaking pinky finger thing that sticks off the one side of the console. But the magnetically connecting Joy-Cons are nice. I mean, obviously we knew a lot of that stuff for a while. A lot of little hardware quirks were things that were either leaked through diagrams or fucking, you know, said by insiders or whatever. Magnetic Joy-Cons, or is that the mouse stuff?
Yeah. I guess the only thing that they didn't actually tell us is that people are like, oh, are they going to have done it? Is whether the Joy-Cons are Hall effect joysticks or not.
Yeah, they didn't mention that at all.
Which is a little concerning, but I'm also
sure.
I never experienced drift, and I know that the more recent sets of Joy-Con have been less susceptible to it, so maybe they just fixed things in general anyway. But it would have been
Fingers
nice for
crossed.
them to say,
Fingers
it's magnets. It's just magnets all the way down.
Yeah, because they're already rocking magnets in the. Yeah, you're right. The C button.
What's it
then
do?
this could segue right. This could segue right into talking about some more games too. Wait, does it do anything besides chat shit?
I think it's just chat.
Yeah, I thought that it was because they said.
Oh, it's a multifunction button, right? It
Well,
probably
they
does system
said-
level stuff.
They
on a
said
lot of
one
different
of the features is game
Yeah.
chat, but then they didn't tell us anything else. So unless they're classing all of like the game chat stuff and the game, like the Discord level type stuff.
I mean, I guess
as-
C for chat makes sense, eh?
But yeah, it's the wording seemed weird. But yeah, Nintendo has voice chat and Discord and video calling.
I'm very surprised when they showed the UI initially, because it literally, Kinarachi said, it literally looks just like Discord. I mean, I'm looking at it right now as we're recording the goddamn episode, and like, yeah, it's the same green outline, same box. That it wasn't Discord; it was just their own version of this whole video conferencing world we live in now. But I actually thought it looked pretty good. I mean, like it has a lot of the Discord features you'd expect from Discord. I mean, a lot of noise filtering stuff. I assume we're going to be able to use our own headsets with that, and not have to worry about just using the microphone that's on like the
hope so.
controller or the console, because PS5 has the mic in the controller and it's garbage. So and you can hear people, you can hear people's like buttons and like. I would play with my cousin playing Call of Duty or something, and you just hear like it's like I'm watching an ASMR video, and I just hear like. So I'm hoping we could, you know, get some peripherals for that. But I think like feature-wise, I they went a lot further with it than I thought in terms of bringing out a camera for it, and then further. Showing off that camera in use in some of the Switch 2 edition updates for certain games. I was not expecting a camera. I was not expecting iToy like shit in Mario Party. So overall, like the game, and I kind of incorporate all of that into the game chat umbrella in terms of topic, because like it uses a lot of those features that are in game chat in Jamboree and stuff. So like it's pretty neat, I think.
Yeah, I think it like works pretty well for people like me who don't have a lot of like local gaming friends. But I think this is like a thing that was born out of everyone being on Zoom during coronavirus. Like it gives me that feeling.
Very hello, I am under the water. Yeah, when we said it in the stream, it was nice that the demonstration looked accurate. I think that's the
Yeah.
fair way to say it.
Yeah, the screen sharing.
The screen
stuff.
sharing and like I was like, okay, maybe when it's in the small little screen window, that's why it's only like at 6 FPS because you don't want to be too distracted. But then it becomes the main feature and it goes up to maybe like 12. But you know what? That is a neat feature. Maybe it gets better over time.
A lot of times you'd have someone show that off and it would just, the video preview that would be in the screen share box would just be like perfectly looking.
Like it would be an
Perfect
actual
gameplay.
capture that they've just overlaid in.
Yeah. But in reality, it's like, yeah, you're doing this on a Switch. Maybe you're on Wi-Fi. Maybe you're in the fucking bus or whatever. It's like, yeah, you're going to be sharing your gameplay and it's not, the bit rate you're able to send is not going to be, 1-to-1 what you're seeing, and I actually like that for the presentation. I'm sure there's people. I haven't read a lot of people's impressions online of the Direct as a whole, so I'm sure people are like, "Fucking what are you?" But I mean, I don't know. It's realistic. I mean, and I think feature and function wise, I think, it's good. I don't know. Nintendo's first crack at system level voice chat, I think, looks like it's pretty fine.
Yeah. So did you want to roll into, because you mentioned iToy, like the...
Yeah, so I mean, one of the first big upgrades we saw in terms of like, Nintendo Switch 2 edition, so, Switch games are going to be playable on Switch 2. Some of them will have these upgrades that they're labeling Switch 2 edition. They did confirm, by the way, one of the things I was reading before we started the recording is that any... like backwards compatible games that are playing without Switch 2 editions, if they do have like unstable frame rates or anything like that already, they might not necessarily get enhanced, but there was confirmation that they have experienced,
like an uplift,
increased performance. Okay. Yeah, like stabilization, stuff like that. So like the instances where I'm playing Xenoblade X and it's dropping a bit in New LA might be smoothed out a bit on Switch 2. We'll see.
I will be curious to see what it does for Pokemon.
I was just thinking the same thing.
Oh my god! Why didn't I?
What it because it would depend, I guess, on what the cause is.
Yeah,
right?
that game seems broken on like a fundamental level.
Rather than this game is running at 30, but occasionally drops to 27. So that will smooth out. Versus, maybe we hit 12.
The ground flickers when you load in when it's nighttime.
Yeah, I guess it depends on what kind of broke that was.
I guess
but it's nice that like even if you don't swim for the Switch 2 editions of like Zelda or whatever, that you will still like, even if you're just like, yeah, you know what, I just want it to be a little bit more consistent, that you'll still get that.
But the first like upgrade they showed off was for something we've been playing a lot of, happily.
Swore we would never touch it again.
Super Mario Party
for yourselves.
Jamboree.
I never won a map.
And I wasn't expecting, so like when this first popped up, and I'm sure if anybody clicks the link and goes and watches the reaction stream, I think we all immediately were like, I feel like you don't need to show me this. I'm good. I think the last thing I want to see is like, what your Switch 2 upgrade is for Jamboree. Like, what could it possibly be? Because like there's nothing in that game that to me you could improve visually or performance wise. Like the game looks fine, performs fine. So basically, essentially, what the Switch 2 upgrade for this is just a fucking expansion pack with a bunch of new mini games that use mouse support, that uses the camera, that uses the microphone. It's getting a lot of fun-looking upgrades.
Go.
Oh, I thought you were telling me to stop talking.
No. I'm playing Mario Party Jamboree Switch 2 edition.
God, I'm going to be honest, you're never going to catch me playing that mode where it's like stand up and punch the brick. I'm not playing that.
Yeah. Also, you're not seeing my body ever. When we're playing this game, you're I'm sorry.
Bowser's pulled you on stage.
Abby. You are the guy that whenever you stand up, you're like, right, time to turn off the webcam. Fuck your layout. I don't care.
You're not seeing below my shoulders. That's just the way that this works. But it looks good.
Yeah. Like the new mini games look neat.
Yeah. Now, did we get any pricing info on how much these upgrades will cost?
No. I have not seen anyone mention it anywhere.
Because
I saw the random little bits.
I saw someone mention and again, I don't know where people are getting this shit from. So that's like why when I say this, I don't know if this is real. I don't know, whatever. I didn't like dig into it, but someone said that like upgrades that are performance based and like visual based, so that would be like Tears of the Kingdom, I guess, will be 1,000 yen.
Okay.
And upgrades that come with content. So in this case, I guess Jamborees would be 2,000 yen. So
If that's the case, that wouldn't be super bad. But I don't know if I'm saying that because the yen is super weak right now, and that doesn't account for.
Yeah, I don't know 100%.
You know.
I don't want to do too much Googling while we're recording, so like, I'm just going to leave it at that. But I mean, 10 to 20 is what. I mean, Sony charges 10 if for like the upgrades of some of their stuff. So like, and those are usually just visual upgrades, like Ghost of Tsushima and stuff like, and you're getting a visual facelift. Not too often are you getting a bunch of new stuff. So then 20 for Jamboree would make sense too. Again, but I would expect, because Ken Ross, before we started recording, you found the information that Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, their upgrades will be included with NSO.
NSO expansion pack.
Yeah.
I think that those are the least interesting.
I agree with
the expansion stuff, because you get like HDR support and Zelda notes.
I'm happy.
Like super exciting, but
if there'll be 60 FPS, that'll be nice.
Or 4K.
It's not something that. Yeah, I don't think it really specified numbers 100% on those upgrades. Just improve frame rates and performance, or performance and visuals or whatever. Yeah, I don't remember. But because like I don't think I would necessarily go back and start from scratch in either of those two games just for 60 FPS. As amazing as they are, look, those games are incredible. But
I probably wouldn't go back to Breath of the Wild, but Tears of the Kingdom, I 100% would.
There's still a lot I haven't seen and done in that game, so I mean, I guess it would be. But when they announced like one more, I was expecting some additions similar to Jamboree before they showed what Zelda Notes was, and then it was like a companion app,
a GPS companion app. It gives you directions to where to go. How does it know where I am?
I do like the addition of the player created stuff, being able to copy people's stuff easily that way, because like. A lot of times it was like my friend would show me something he made in Tears of the Kingdom, and he's like trying to explain to me, oh yeah, you use this piece here, that part there. It's like, buddy, I'm just not gonna, I can't, sorry, Mr. Lego, I can't figure that out. So being able to just be like, all right, yeah, I'm gonna download this guy's fucking mech, cool.
Sorry,
so that is a neat addition. But.
Sorry to go back hardware wise. I don't think we said that Doc has 4K. 4K 60?
4K output.
Did it say?
Yeah, because then 120 will be
handheld.
1080 probably.
Yeah.
And yeah. Because Metroid Prime 4's upgrades are 4K 60 or 1080 at 120. So that's neat.
Yeah.
And it'll be nice, especially for UI. Even if games aren't internally rendering at 4K, it's like upscaled, if they're using some kind of like DLSS type thing. There is always, when I'm playing it on like my TV, my current Switch on like my TV or something, like having like a sub 4K UI stretched out onto it.
Yeah.
I want like a nice crisp interface experience. So I'm stoked on 4K output. So like everything's gonna look nice and crispy, which I'm excited about.
Yes. Sorry, but yes.
Yeah. You know what though? I will say this on Zelda Notes. I feel like that's something that could have just also been done on the Switch. I don't actually quite know why Zelda Notes is a Switch 2 exclusive thing.
Yeah, I can see that.
Especially with how shareable creations are. So like, but it is what it is. Whatever. That's not like something I think is a negative. But in terms of Ebby saying it's the least interesting of the upgrades we've seen, like. Yeah, like why couldn't you have just done that for me originally? But
I mean, I guess technically the least interesting one is like no, take that back. Never mind. It is the least interesting one. I was gonna say the least interesting one was Metroid, but then I was like, oh, it's got mouse support, so never mind.
Yeah, and up to 120 FPS and the mouse stuff, and it's probably gonna have better textures and
the HDR.
It's funny because I feel like Metroid Prime 4 Switch 2 version is like in my mind at this point like the I don't want to say like the
Well, it's like
primary
it's like
version
Breath of the
game, but-
Wild on the Switch. Why would you buy it on the Wii U?
Yeah.
Because some people will buy it literally because it'll be one of the last like Switch
Yeah.
1 games, and therefore it will be worth money in
That's
the
fair.
future because
Yeah,
no one
yeah.
buys it.
But in terms of like actually playing it, what? Or like if you can't get a hold of a Switch 2, then obviously yes, you would buy the Switch 1 version and then maybe upgrade later on.
Mhm.
But if you have the ability, why would you pick the Switch 1?
I don't know.
But it does look, because I had been, when they were talking about the mouse thing, about like how split Joy-Con stuff would work, I'd be like, well, moving with an analog stick is the superior way compared to WASD, but aiming with a mouse is the better way compared to a Joy-Con. So maybe we enter
It's
a
time-
world where you
it's time
move
to,
with an analog and aim with a cursor, and everyone kills you in Splatoon.
It's time to port Marvel Rivals to the son of a bitch.
Yeah.
That's what it's time for.
So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing
Kinross.
what that's like. Yeah.
Kinross, we're talking about upgrades. We're talking about mouse controls. We're talking about 120 FPS. We're talking about all this garbage. Okay? This shit is fast food, Kinross, compared to getting an expansion to Kirby and the Forgotten Land, Kinross.
Yeah. That was
this-
that was not expected at all.
All this other shit is garbage. I'm kidding. obviously,
Yeah. Spoilers. Bill and I ate very well this direct.
but I love it.
There was a lot of neat stuff for me. I'm gonna
So
have to find
we're
my copy of
getting-
Kirby.
Improved graphics and a new storyline with Kirby and the Forgotten Land. So Kirby and the Forgotten Land is one of my favorite Switch games. One of my favorite stories on the Switch. It's
Yeah.
bizarre.
I am still sad that I missed that finale, because the finale is a
Yeah.
hell of a thing.
I forgot I streamed pretty much the whole game as I went, but that game is wild. And knowing that the storyline will be probably added on, I don't know how it's integrated, but I'm just excited for more levels, more powers, enhanced graphics. Like that's a Switch 2 edition I wasn't expecting.
More
I thought Kirby and
mouthfuls.
the Forgotten Land was like done and dusted. I thought it was done.
Yeah. Did you ever finish it, Abby?
No.
Well, now you
I don't
can
know
on Switch 2.
I don't know what happened to my copy, to be honest.
Did you physically lend it to someone instead of the digital game sharing?
I don't think I did.
I mean, I don't know. Where
I
my
don't
copy
lend
is
out
either.
my games very often.
Smart. Yeah, no, I am. My thoughts on like the stuff with expansions obviously comes down to how much it's gonna be.
Yeah.
Particularly if I've actually lost my copy and I have to buy a new one, then
Yeah.
that's an extra expense.
I think if the yen's anything to go by, it seems like between probably 7 and 14
That's not too
pounds
bad.
for us,
Yeah. Okay.
which is not too bad.
Yeah. So yeah, I am definitely happy to play more Kirby. He's a fun little goofball. I hope that we see more games from him soon.
That'd be crazy if we did.
The other big upgrade we saw, which everyone expected this, I think. I mean, with the game obviously launching after the Switch 2 is already out, same with Metroid Prime 4 is Pokemon Legends ZA.
Did
I
they
mean, I
actually
expect
say what the improvement was, or was it just like, it runs a bit
graphics,
It's
better?
gonna look
graphics,
nicer.
performance, yeah,
Okay.
probably. I think it said like frame rates and visuals and stuff. So whether it's 30 or 60, I imagine it'll be hopefully stable.
Oh yeah, because I joked that we get to get to 25 or something now.
Yeah, yeah, you did. Which, hey, awesome. If having more headroom for performance is going to help Game Freak out into the future, that would be a win for.
The only reason that I don't follow the headroom argument is when you look at things that Monolith
Gameplay.
put out,
Yeah, exactly.
and you're like,
But even if their games would improve visually, as long as it helps them out.
Yeah, I mean, I
performance-wise,
guess the difference is that Monolith cooks for a while. From what we understand, Game Freak are pumping things out. So maybe it's just that they don't have the time to polish that Monolith gives.
I would love a deep dive into the inner workings of Game Freak. I think it would be one of the more interesting.
Jason Schreier, get on it.
It would be so interesting to see how they work and their timelines and their time crunches and stuff. Like, I'm so curious because, like, I mean, they are churning games out at an almost at times RGG pace, and like I almost feel bad because it feels like they have no room to breathe and they don't reuse their assets like RGG does. So like, at least not in the same way, you know. Like obviously the Pokemon models they do, but like they don't. You know, they had like, so it's, I don't know, it sucks.
They're not in Pallet Town for 6 games.
But yeah, I mean, we got that Rocket League looking wheelchair basketball game.
Yeah, the dual-wielding mouse game.
I think you're gonna need the ceramic mouse pad if that's something that you're planning on playing.
That I watched that gameplay. It's called Drag Drive, by the way, for anyone listening who hasn't seen the direct yet. And it's very similar looking to, you know, a Rocket League style game. It's a basketball game, and you are like little robot people in wheelchairs, and you use two mice, you two Joy-Cons as you're dual wielding your mice, your mouse maxing, and you're using like wheelchair motions to move, and then pulling the Joy-Con up and shooting the basketball. And
so I think the best way to like imagine it, because it was weird to me until I was like, oh, the Joy-Con are your hands. Like they are actually your hands. So you're like wheeling them along the wheels, and then you're lifting them to wave and throw the ball. Like it makes sense at that point. But before I was like, what the hell is going on?
Watching it and thinking about it, like right now, as we're recording, I'm doing the motion on my desk with my mouse and my phone. Like I'm trying to like, I don't think I'm going to enjoy this game. I don't think I'm going to buy this game. Unless it's like comes out where it's like incredible. I think it's fucking tiring.
All right.
This is why I didn't buy Arms, because I was like, I can't, are you kidding? Yeah. I can't be asked to actually fist fight.
Unless
I try not to think of it too much, but it did feel like a maybe this would be a free
I was gonna say
slash
maybe Switch Online type of drop,
or like a very budget title, like $5 to $15.
Yeah, you can't charge $70 for that. I mean, you can't. Yeah, that would be DOA.
Now, of course, if it had micros in it, then you go the Rocket League you release it for free, and you put micro in.
I don't think. The more I think about this game, the weirder it is for me that it's like it's a Nintendo game, right? Like it's first party. I believe.
Yes.
It doesn't look very first party.
I was gonna say it doesn't have like a face, like if that makes sense. It doesn't have like.
Yeah.
Well, so it sounded like Splatoon.
It's just Nintendo are very good at mascots, and there's no mascot.
Yeah, I don't want to say I hate using the doesn't have no soul. Like, I hate using, but it doesn't feel like it has.
Well, so you remember, or maybe you don't, with Star Fox Zero. If you bought the special edition, you got like the Star Fox Control or something.
No, Star Fox God,
which was. Basically, it was basically a tech demo, but happened to have like a little bit of Star Fox thrown on it visually. It sort of feels like that level of game where if someone was to just go over it with a sheen of some description, you'd be like, okay, yeah, this is like a small Nintendo product, but it just doesn't. It feels like an unreal thing. I'm surprised they didn't
like make like characters or something. You know, like similar to ARMS, and you know.
I just wonder if they were kind of like burnt by investing as much as they did in ARMS, because I don't think ARMS ever did like especially well.
But like, I would have even just gone with unless I'm misremembering, like everyone's wearing they're robots / they're wearing helmets, whatever. Like they
Yeah,
don't
look like
have
Tom from Toonami.
they don't have
basically.
dot matrices on their faces, like being :3 and all that sort of stuff, right? There's no emoticons on their faces. Like that would have been the easy thing to do, to just add a little bit of charm. It's like, oh yeah, you can emote through your helmet.
I'm watching the trailer. This thing's got to be free with the Nintendo Online expansion pack. There's no way. I don't know. But then again, they are charging for, what the fuck's it called?
I don't
Welcome
know.
Tour.
Yeah.
I can't believe that.
That's
Piece of
wild.
information.
Yeah,
I
thought-
actually can't believe the piece of information. What the fuck?
Did you not hear him?
I mean,
I said it.
No, I think
fair
I
enough.
was talking. Yeah, there was so much going on.
Yeah, that's fair.
I think we should have expected it because they charged money for 1-2 Switch.
I
But at
would.
the same time, I don't think they understand that the reason that Astrobot did as well as it did was because it was a pack-in title. Like, I don't think a lot of people would have bought Astrobot if it cost like 15 quid.
Yeah. It's an interesting one. I would not. Well, I'd say I don't expect. I can't assume anything. I would have put that in the 10 to 15 range. It's not going to be that. It's going to be 30.
Okay, well, I'm not buying that.
No,
then.
yeah, but I would have, if it was 10 to 15, I'd be like, you know what, maybe. Because there were some bits that looked a bit neat and whatever, but yeah.
To be honest, I don't think Nintendo, like, historically are that good when it comes to pack-in titles. The only time they ever did really well was with Wii Sports.
Nintendo Land was good.
Yeah, well, that's for the Wii U and no one
Yeah.
bought one. So.
But, like, what other consoles had pack-in titles?
None.
Fair enough. Yeah, they're not very good at it then.
So I don't know why I'm expecting things to change now.
Yeah. It's equally weird to me that people expect... I guess they did it too on the bounce, but... and Wii Sports was such a big thing for the Wii. But that everyone is like, I can't believe the Switch didn't come with a pack-in title. It's like, well, no one else really does. Sony did with Astro's Playroom.
Apart from...
But that's like a one-off.
Yeah. Which is why I think Nintendo kind of made a mistake by not just packing in the Welcome Tour.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, my first thought upon seeing it was like, oh, this is their Astro's Playroom. Like, this is their, like, you tour the features, you know, there's personality in there and things to see. And because, like, I was thinking, like, one of the things that and for all intents and purposes, I think the Switch 2's UI is probably going to be fine. But from the screenshots I've seen, it just looks like a cleaner version. Or, I don't know how you get any cleaner, but, like, it looks like a, you know, just touched up version of the Switch. Is like, I would like a little more Nintendo pizzazz, and, like, Welcome Tour kind of seemed like that. Like, bit of extra pizzazz where it's like it's on your home screen, you can go into it, and you know, there's probably some pleasant music in
Like,
here.
if
I guess I'll probably hear it on the app because I'm not going to buy this.
If I was being, like, kind but cynical, I'd be like, okay, they've made this so that people can understand what the system is about. Fair enough. So you have, like, the informational part be on the console, it's free, and then the games and all that other gubbins that is with it, you would have paid for like the DLC, as it were. But, like, you still have the thing that's charming and cool, cute, that explains what all these doohickeys do. You just don't get, like, the practical experience of it. But
Even that, I think, is like a mistake.
oh yeah,
I-
100%. But I'd understand it a bit more than we're not going to do it at all unless you give us the money.
I just don't know that I personally know anyone that's like, yeah, I'm going to go out and buy this because I'm interested in what it's about. You know?
Yeah.
Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know.
We could hope. But yeah, on the note of Drag X Drive, I would have been like, oh, if it was coming out later in the year, maybe there's still some polish. It's coming out in the summer, which is like within 2 to 3 months of release. So I don't think there's much in the way of polish or overhaul left.
No. It just looks a bit...
It's just like it's like 90% there, but the last like 10% is like the important 10%, right?
Yeah, it's like the presentation of it just doesn't make me think Nintendo made it. You know?
Yep. It's got no soul.
Got no soul.
Then we got Elden Ring announced for this thing. But then a lot of third-party people just coming on the screen like, our game's coming. Our game's coming too.
Do you think
So,
Night Rain might come out on the Switch? I assume that it's not. They didn't say anything about it because it's not. Got a date.
Yeah, it's probably. I bet you not at launch, but I bet you it probably will. I mean, especially if Elden Ring sells well on that thing, which I'm sure. I mean, it's going to. And depending on how it performs, I guess too. Which again, I think it's going to perform fine. But
it's one of those things, though. Like I feel like most people who were interested in playing Elden Ring have already done that. You know.
Yeah. Then again, we saw Skyrim pretty successful on the Switch.
That's crazy.
Can you believe that they didn't announce Skyrim for the Switch 2 with Switch 2 enhancements?
Elden Ring.
Yet.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Elden Ring, I feel, has reached a Skyrim status of popularity among general audiences that no other Souls game really has. And so I feel like it was their, like, you could play this shit handheld type moment. Similar to, like, Skyrim being that for the Switch's reveal. But I feel like that novelty is not the same as it used to be with Steam Decks and other shit.
So I was going to say, how is Elden Ring on Steam Deck?
I don't know. I haven't tried it on there.
But...
I don't play it on there. Yeah, I don't actually know. But I mean, that's just like the PC version running on there. So I imagine I'll have done some touch-ups to, hopefully anyway. I know I mean, even on like PS5 and PS5 Pro, like it still kind of gets a little janky at times. So like From's technical ability, don't lynch me for this, commenters, but like From's technical abilities aren't that hot. So that's my only. I think the game itself is fully capable of running on this thing, but it's up to From whether or not it does or not, because this game ran at like 45ish FPS on the PS5 at launch. So
okay,
but I imagine it'll probably be capped at 30.
Yeah, I mean that would be the sensible way.
Yeah, so maybe they can hit it actually. Anything from that third-party blitz that like stuck out for you besides like Yakuza 0 getting a
Yakuza 0?
Yeah, I mean that's a
absurdly excited for, considering how many times I have watched play that game.
I mean, Hades 2 is neat for you, but they didn't give a date, right?
No date, yeah.
Yeah. Split Fiction coming same day. That's cool.
That's nice. Madden, baby. What do you think about that, Kinross?
Is that the football one?
You getting stoked, bro? You gonna play some American football?
No.
What do you mean? We're gonna do a whole series on
I mean,
Twitch
if we are, then
teach you
fair
American
enough.
Football, and
I mean, you
start
could.
online franchise mode. And,
you could.
we play through like a decade of like our respective NFL teams.
That could be neat. Trying to explain football to someone who doesn't understand it at all.
It would actually be kind of funny,
yeah,
actually. Maybe I'll put a link. Maybe I'll put a link in that idea.
Like I've played one FIFA game. I got surprisingly invested in it, despite having no idea what I was doing. But that was like 15 years ago. And that's the last EA Sports game I played.
Cool.
Yeah. Hogwarts Legacy, I'm sure, is neat for some people. I'm not too fussed by it.
The thing I wanted to mention was the fact that Capcom came on and they were like, we're putting a game out, and then they made it Street Fighter when we're in the middle of like Monster Hunter
I was,
fever.
I was
Oh,
expecting Wilds. I was expecting Wilds as well. I was like, oh yeah, no brainer. Especially for Japan, they like Monster Hunter is so big on handhelds there, and like, it would. The game was just revealed to have sold 10 million copies. Like, imagine like a Switch 2 version of that, especially overseas in Japan. Like, I imagine they're working on it.
Gotta be.
It's probably just something they didn't have ready, or it's probably gonna take some extra optimization, just due to it already performing not that hot.
Do you think that they would wait? Like, would they leave
Expansion?
it for as long as until the expansion comes out and just be like, here's the Goaty version or whatever you want to call it,
It's a good
or is
question.
that too late?
Might be too late. I don't know. I don't know though. I don't know. That's not a bad thought.
Well, it's normally like what, 2 years before the expansion?
Probably
18 months?
I mean,
Yeah,
and
it's a
then
while.
and then there's the other Monster Hunter team, the one who did Rise, is probably working on their next game as well, which will probably launch as a Switch 2 exclusive, similarly to Rise, I would imagine. So maybe they'll just wait for that. But I don't know. It's the way Capcom does Monster Hunter is so interesting to me, that they do have two teams making Monster Hunter games, and that the other team is making one. So it's interesting to think that they would skip Wilds, though. I don't think they will. So maybe they will wait for the expansion. I don't know. I'm just word vomiting now.
Yeah, I mean, it does seem weird to not strike while the iron is hot, but equally, you'd be 4 or 5 months after release, so most people that were interested in it would probably have already picked it up somewhere else if they were able.
The thing that they could do is have like cloud saves that you can swap back
That's-
and forth,
That's the ticket. Yep.
and
Yeah.
that would make people double dip for it, because they'll be like,
Cross
oh,
save.
I travel a lot. I can do some hunts while I'm away. Let's do that. But
Because
as it stands, I guess it's just Steam
it
Deck.
does not perform well on Steam Deck. So
Really?
if they could get that thing to a friendly performance metric on the Switch 2 with cross save,
Is cross save a thing?
Yes. I don't think so.
Okay.
Not currently.
But
I mean,
they
cross-play
could
is,
make it
so
happen.
They could
Yeah.
make it happen. Yeah, 100%. Because
Because
you're already
I think a
tied
lot of
to-
people would be excited about portable Monster Hunter that's on the
Absolutely.
scale of like a Wilds rather than a
Mhm,
Rise.
It'd be huge. Yeah.
Whether
That
it'd be
would be
possible or
nuts.
not, I don't know. But
So one thing I wanted to double check is Bravely Default Flying Fairy the first game remake,
it's the
or is it
first game.
something else?
I have no
it's
clue.
the first game. They said HD remake of the first
Okay.
game, I think.
Because I don't remember Bravely Default having a subtitle.
It did not.
Okay, I think that's what's throwing me off, that it suddenly got a subtitle.
Let's see. I would have preferred if it was all of the Bravely games in like one bundle.
Yeah, because are they going to do Bravely Second or no? Because then like those two games are sequels to each other. So
Are they? I thought it was Bravely Default and then Bravely Default 2.
Ah,
And Bravely Second
Okay.
is something else.
the 3DS games are tied. Bravely Default 2 is totally standalone.
the game in Japan
Totally.
is just called Bravely Default Flying Fairy. So
wow.
Okay. Okay, so
Yeah, we're getting a lot of that
the
lately, huh? We're
subtitle
getting-
is expanded in places to where the fairy flies. In territories outside of Japan. I've never heard that before, so
Interesting.
We've been getting a lot of that lately. Yakuza Like a Dragon, Resident Evil Biohazard, Everybody's Golf Hot Shots.
but yeah, it's just
Can you play that with the mouse?
Bravely
Bravely
Default
Default?
Flying Fairy HD Remaster is a remaster of the first game in the Bravely series.
Okay.
So it's just game number 1.
Mhm.
The thing is, like, I really want to play this because I played the demo for the 3DS version in like 2011, 2012 and
Yeah.
really enjoyed it. And then never bought the game. The game got really expensive, stopped caring about it.
Yeah.
But if there's like a sequel to it that is, I think, even more expensive than the first game
Mhm.
on the 3DS, then are they planning to do that? Because I don't want to like get invested and then not be able to like.
Well, it's one of those like catch-22s, right? Like, you want them to make the second one, but you don't want to pay for the first one if they're not going to do it. But then they
Yeah.
don't make the second one because no one bought the first.
Yeah. If it's not £65 for a copy, I would probably pick it up. I'm curious as to how much like third
That's
parties
gotta
are going to
be, like,
cost.
Yeah.
especially because it's very
Remake.
obviously a 3DS game,
Mhm.
visually still. It's not like they like remade it from the ground up, you know.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That can't be a fucking $60-$70. There's no way.
Well, time will tell.
Yeah, true. They're charging for Welcome Tour, so I guess anything's
Yeah.
possible at this point.
But yeah,
I would
Yakuza
say the
0
last-
is neat.
I would say the last. Oh, by the way, Yakuza 0 Director's Cut confirmed to have new cutscenes.
Ooh.
So, it's not a
So
big
we're all going to
dragon
be playing
engine
through
remake.
Yakuza 0 again. So fuck these
There
new cut-
will be new story stuff in there. So,
Oh shit.
Do you think that they would cut the bits from Kiwami 2, the extra Majima stuff, and stick that in Director's Cut? Do you think that's what they've done?
No, I don't think so.
Or was Kiwami... Well, Kiwami 2 was in Dragon, wasn't it? So that would actually be
Yeah,
quite a bit of
that-
effort to do.
Yeah, to downscale
Yeah.
it to their
different
old
engine.
and it's a different time period too, right?
Yeah, it's like 20 years later or something.
I don't know whether the... I can't remember. I thought that the Kiwami 2 Majima stuff wasn't current time. I thought it was like still
Well, it was
80s,
it was like-
90s-ish.
I think it was like during. It was set during Kiwami 2. I think I didn't.
That
I didn't
was what I
remember.
thought as
Okay,
well.
it's been a while.
Because you go get like a massage from there.
Mm. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and your iPad and your snakeskin jacket,
Mm.
Majima. But
I can't think of
Last-
what. Not to
What?
like stick on the point of new Yakuza 0 content for too long because I don't want to spoil it for anyone that's not played it, and also,
Yeah.
we've talked to death about Yakuza, but I can't think of what new stuff
me neither.
there needs to be because the game was kind of perfect as it was.
Maybe a little bit more
Whoa!
bridging. I don't know.
It also has a new mode.
Oh.
Red Light Raid, online 4-player co-op mode with up to 60 unlockable characters.
Okay, so we can play.
Hey, you know
Yakuza
how we were
0
saying that there
together?
should be Yakuza multiplayer stuff?
We were saying that.
Oh man, one of us is bugged.
60 unlockable characters. So it's probably gonna be a mode that has characters from all eras of the game, of like the series. Also, the key art is fucking mint condition, by the way.
Yeah.
The fucking key art. Oh, I'm gonna send it to you guys. Holy fucking moly, baby. Yeah, baby.
That is
Yeah,
nice.
Sorry, this is a weird portion of the episode for everyone that's listening. But
It's nice. It's nice. I guess I'm playing Yakuza 0 again. I'm fine with it. I wasn't planning on it, but I'll do it.
I imagine this will probably be coming to other platforms as well. It's just, showcase announcement stuff.
I've always said
marketing.
that they needed to put more like old Yakuza games on the Switch because they're so perfect for like a pick up and play style because you can pick up, you can sit and do like big portions of story, sure, but you can also like pick up and do like a couple of sub stories or like do some mini games. Like I'm going to be playing that cabaret mini game for the rest of my life. Because it was my favorite thing. I think it's a great mini game, and now I can play it wherever I am.
You
I
can
think
play it
that's
in
awesome.
bed. Congratulations, you're never leaving bed.
I'm gonna have my heated blanket, and I'm
Yeah.
gonna be playing the cabaret mini game, and you'll never hear from me again.
Did they give a date for that, or
No.
they just said
Yes.
2025? Actually,
Wait, Yakuza?
No.
yeah. Did they give it?
It
any?
launches on launch.
It's a launch
day, which is-
title. Oh yeah, I
Magic.
remember now. Because I have to
you
choose
say?
between bloody Yakuza and Mario Kart.
Okay, well, you're gonna pick Mario Kart because you definitely played Yakuza already.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. You're right.
Dude, this says mow down hordes of enemies with 4 players in Red Light Raid.
Oh my god.
Hordes?
Is
Am
it
I
like
getting
Warriors?
Am I getting like a? Can I play it alone
Yakuza
too?
Warriors.
Are you getting your Yakuza warriors?
Like if it plays like Warriors, could I? Do I have to play with people? Like if nobody's
Bill,
around, do I have
you
to just
play
alright.
with us.
Well, yeah, I know, but I mean, like if it's like 8
Yeah.
o'clock my time and you guys are all in bed, it's like
You're like,
I know.
I'll give you my phone number.
Yeah.
Just ring me and tell me that you want to
just
play, and I'll get out of bed.
Toot the horn and be like,
I mean,
light
just
the
play it in
beacons.
bed now because Nintendo Game Chat lets you just chat right on your Switch. So
Hey, I
you
don't want to know
gotta
how
be
I
in-
sound through Nintendo's microphone when my chin is crusted to my neck like this. I'm laying in bed. All right, guys, let's go. Kick some butt.
Yeah, you guys aren't gonna hear me because I
I-
haven't reached that far.
I'm now significantly more excited for that than I was. Obviously, I was excited. It's Yakuza, but I get to play Yakuza with you guys, so that's
Yeah, yeah.
To be-
that's awesome.
We were talking about because there was Yakuza Kiwami rumors, and we were like Dragon Engine Yakuza 0. That'd be crazy, and that's not what this is.
No.
But I'm still fairly excited for it. I'm more excited for it than I thought I would be.
Now that we've heard
considering
more
is
about it.
The old engine, which I am not that fond of, but Yakuza 0 is a very good game. So,
Yeah.
as if you haven't heard that already a million billion times on the Permadeath channel.
Yeah. There was only 2 people's Goaty, or on Goaty lists.
Woot woot.
So
I'm
yeah,
sorry.
we then moved into pseudo third-party pseudo first. There's a new Hyrule Warriors game set in the past. Spoilers. There's past stuff in Tears of the Kingdom. I am super stoked. I hope that Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity gets... I mean, if they're saying that just stuff will run better, then I would love to know what Age of Calamity is like on the Switch
Age of
2.
Calamity was one of my biggest disappointments. I just really didn't enjoy playing that game.
That's fair. But yeah, this one's Age of Imprisonment. I am in. There are characters that I will not name because Ellie hasn't played the game yet.
I'm sorry.
But now you can. And yeah, I thoroughly... I can't get into Dynasty Warriors. I tried playing the demo for Origins. I couldn't, or whatever it was. I couldn't quite get into it. But Hyrule Warriors, it tickles my brain. I like it.
Man, if I could have ported over my time on Hyrule Warriors from the Wii U to the Switch, I would definitely be getting fucking email saying that I'm allowed to buy one. That's for sure.
So, I will say this: I'm excited for this game, obviously, but it's a less exciting character roster than.
I guess it depends on
Age of
how
Calamity for me.
So Age of Calamity, you could tell what some of the roster was going to be, and then some of it went weird. But yeah,
Like I imagine, primarily it's the people we saw standing in the line.
yeah, like those 6 would probably be the main, but it would feel weird for it to only be 6. But I don't know who else it would be.
Age of Calamity, I got to play as Urbosa, so like it already was a dub for me in a way. But again,
I think the thing that surprised me from that lineup was I don't know the story of Tears of the Kingdom, so I don't know if someone's going to be like, "That's a fucking idiot take." But where was Link?
That is not an idiot take, but it is an uninformed take.
yeah. The story of Tears of the Kingdom.
Within like an hour and a half, 2 hours of Tears of the Kingdom, you will know the answer to that question.
I don't want to play it until I get my.
Yeah, no,
Now-
that's fair.
Well,
I mean,
this
I
doesn't
can
come
tell
out
you if
till
you really
winter,
want
so,
to.
No.
Okay. I can stream the start of Tears of the Kingdom for you if you would like me to.
Maybe.
Yeah.
We'll think about it.
So yeah, oh god, I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to put a pause because I want to look at that lineup because I also don't know. Imprisonment, Age of Imperialism, no. Because I can only think of like 4 people that it would be at the end.
Oof.
This winter. Oh, right. Yeah. Yeah, that's not a particularly inspired lineup, but it's got to be more than that for a Warriors game, right? You can't just have 7 people.
Yeah,
No, you can't. The
I
Warriors
would
game
imagine.
just
I imagine we'll get. I'm sure Link will be in there somewhere.
Yeah.
They'll find some fucking way to do it.
Linkle, the return of Linkle.
Ooh.
I think it's neat, though. Before I move off this, I think it's neat though to continue to do these kind of Warriors spin-offs contained within a certain game's story, like similar. So we had Hyrule Warriors: Age of Calamity, and then we had Fire Emblem Warriors, Three Hopes, set within 3 houses. I think it's neat to do that in a way because one of the reasons I haven't played Fire Emblem Warriors is that like I've played one Fire Emblem game, exactly one, and so it's like I don't know any of these other people, and I feel like certain things are lost on me when like a bulk of the game's charm is like playing as your favorite characters, and so I like these Warrior spin-offs that are like, okay, I've played Tears of the Kingdom. Here's Tears of the Kingdom Warriors, and everything within this game is contained within my knowledge of that one game I really liked. Instead of like, hey, you might not have played these other 6 games, so you kind of don't really know any of these people. Sorry, that's actually also why I didn't really get too hyped for Engage, because it's like, okay, I'm like, I have this ring and I'm summoning all these fuckers I don't know.
Yeah.
And it's like I'm not excited to see this person from like Fire Emblem 2 or whatever because I haven't played it, so I don't give a shit. So I like this trend of doing this, but
I feel like you can't really do the whole like paying homage to the past series when in English we only have like half of those games.
Yeah. Fair point too, yeah.
On the note of imprisonment, only because this article calls it a prequel, I know that Age of Calamity was half billed as being canon, but then wasn't. I'm curious if this is in the same vein as Calamity, where it's like, yeah, it's like there's alternate timeline, but it doesn't strictly happen. Or is this 100% a prequel? The stuff that happens is the stuff that happens, and there's not going to be any shenanigans.
There's obviously really interesting questions I could ask myself and the developers and whoever else, with some very interesting story bits that take place Tears of the Kingdom that I'm curious if they will, because Tears of the Kingdom was a lot more, at least as much as it could be. I felt it was more narratively focused in Breath of the Wild, and I feel like if you're going to do a prequel, filling in, like, to me it would almost seem like when they say prequel, obviously the stuff we're seeing though, and again I can't really go too deep into it without spoiling stuff.
I'm so sorry.
No.
Like, it's the stuff they're showing isn't like stuff that happens before Tears of the King. Like in the timeline, yes, but
like part of me, okay.
In the timeline,
if this is a spoiler, I'm very sorry. I'm gonna try and make it not.
I'm gonna just phase out for a while. Just let me know when I can come back.
If they're saying that the memory equivalent is what we're playing through, like all those gaps are being filled in.
Yes,
that's what I would interpret as a prequel.
Same, because to me it's like, oh, this isn't like, oh, you're getting to find out what, like, or you're like, we've seen Zelda in this place before, and like a lot of this narrative that we're finding out as Link and stuff is seeing Zelda's time in the past, and so like prequel is a funny way to, because like it's almost like this stuff's happening adjacent, or you know what I mean, like, you know, adjacent to. Because obviously, I don't know. It's interesting. I think being able to go in and play through Zelda's time in the past is cool, because it's technically a prequel, but also its narrative is part of Tears of the It's really cool.
I guess we'll find out in the winter, but
and
I am
if
intrigued.
That means if it will be 100% game. I never finished Age of Calamity, so I don't know how much it changes or deviates or does weird shit.
Quite a bit.
Plot.
I could tell you if you would like.
Yeah, I mean, you could tell me in text chat later or whatever.
I mean,
I don't
beat
really,
it, right?
I'm probably.
Yeah, I finished it. I don't remember what the fuck.
Well, even just
okay.
in the interest of moving on.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. That's
I don't
fine.
want to go too deep into it. Because it's actually still a decent clip to still talk about here. But yeah, I don't know. I'm curious. It's neat.
Yeah.
Now, in topic of Zelda,
The
entire
heartbreak.
Switch's the entire Switch's life cycle, we've been getting games from the Wii U that are like getting their time in the sun on a more successful platform. We've had Tropical Freeze. We've now gotten Xenoblade Chronicles X. We've gotten pretty much everything. Mario 3D World. We've gotten everything that was good from the Wii U era given to us on a console that has sold 150 million units. So naturally, everybody has been asking for Nintendo to do the obvious thing, and that is give us the HD remasters that they released to much fanfare for The Legend of Zelda: The Wind Waker and The Legend of Zelda: The Twilight Princess. And all throughout the Switch's life cycle, I feel like before every fucking direct, we have gotten insiders and
sitting on it.
social media coming out and being like, "Oh, Nintendo has these things have been done for
they're in the vault
2 years, man, and it's only a matter of time before they reveal these. They're coming. I just don't know when they're coming." Well, guess what, fucker? They're obviously not. I don't know.
I don't know. Like, what is the plan?
So, for everyone listening, if you haven't seen the direct, they announced to our joy a GameCube port for exclusive to Switch 2 for the Nintendo Switch Online expansion pack stuff, which is obviously the next natural progression. We've gotten NES, SNES, N64. Now we're getting GameCube. And that's exciting. There's a lot of awesome stuff from the GameCube. We've got a lot of awesome stuff already announced. But the first thing that they
It's
announced
like 3 massive hitters.
was the fucking Wind Waker.
Yeah.
And the version of Wind Waker that, like, okay, it's obviously the easiest one for them to give us. It is emulating the game.
Yeah. But they made
not
a point of saying it runs at a higher resolution than the original game. And I'm like, you know what else does that? But with quality of life improvements?
That's the thing that kind of sucks, is that I love the original Wind Waker.
Yeah.
But
I can't not have the Swift Sail.
The Swift Sail, the reduced
Triforce.
annoyance with the Triforce quest, the menu being like, my guys, what are you doing?
I mean, I'm gonna play it, I'm sure, and then I'll be like, no, I can't do this to me.
I started playing a totally legitimate copy of the Wind Waker on GameCube, and I can't deal with the sailing because every time you want to change the wind, you can't just like
oh
put the
crap
sail up and
that
you've got to play the song every time you want to change the direction of the wind.
Oh my god. Yeah, I can't do it to myself. I can't. But yeah, so like they specifically announced Wind Waker, Soul Calibur 2, which is some fighting game, I don't know, and then
Sheesh.
it doesn't have the version with Yoda in it, so like what's the point?
Okay, Soul Calibur 2 has been like this fucking rumor on the wind as a remake for the longest time, and everyone's like, there's no way. Nintendo will never allow them to do this because Link was like the big deal in that game. It was a big reason that everyone bought the game on GameCube. It was the best version because it had Link in it.
Yeah.
And this is not a remaster, but it's good enough. So I'm super excited to play Soul Calibur with people online. It's gonna be sick. It's gonna be so good. I'm really excited.
Yeah. I am happy for the people. I mean, maybe I'll play. I think I played 2 or 3.
Soul Calibur also famously has really good single player modes as well.
It does. It has the arcade mode, it has the adventure mode, and the adventure mode made me so mad when I was younger, but I'm bigger now and I'm stronger, so I think I can take it. You know,
I actually just
big enough to
bought,
break the.
this is a tangent I shouldn't go on, but just to speak to the quality of Soul Calibur's single player modes, I just bought at the mom and pop game shop. I bought a physical copy of Soul Calibur 3 for the PS2, and I've been messing with a single player mode in that, and that is super fun. So yeah, Soul Calibur's good. That's a cool announcement.
Sorry, did 3 have the character creator, or was that 4?
I
so
think...
2 does not have a character creator. So if you were hoping for that, it doesn't have one. That's one of the big features of Soul Calibur nowadays. Yeah. Even though Soul Calibur is a dead franchise by the looks of things, but
well, maybe it'll
on GameCube, maybe it'll come back and we can have a good Soul Calibur again.
I'll play it for a bit, I'm sure. Get my ass kicked by CPUs. And then
F-Zero.
I said that there was going to be an F-Zero game because they released it on the music app, and lo and behold, F-Zero on the GameCube. But still, it's F-Zero.
This gives me hope as well, because if people play this and really like it, then maybe there'll be more push for making a new one, because this F-Zero GX is the most recent F-Zero game.
Oh, God. Well, aside from 99, I suppose.
99 doesn't count, because that's just a Battle Royale version of the shitter F-Zero game. So.
But then on, the carousel, they had... Was it Path of Radiance?
They had Mario Sunshine, Fire Emblem Path of Radiance, Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness, Super Mario Strikers, Chibi Robo, Luigi's Mansion, and Pokemon Coliseum.
That's a heck of a list.
Those are kind of massive, because those are all of the turbo expensive games in the UK.
I wonder if that's what they're basing it on. It's these are the games that people can't really get a hold of.
You literally cannot buy them, because I paid, I think it was 160 for my copy of Path of Radiance, and it's $260 now. Chibi Robo has always been super expensive. Pokemon Gale of Darkness is another super expensive game for no reason, as far as I can tell. And I think the only reason that our copy of Pokemon Coliseum is going up in price is a lot of Americans are importing that game to use for their Pokemon box, because Pokemon box is the most expensive GameCube title on the market in America. And our Pokemon box came bundled with the pre-order copies for Pokemon Coliseum. So.
Okay. So yeah, in my mind, I had a GameCube, but I literally only played Wind Waker and Double Dash. I don't think I then played Star Fox Adventure and Luigi's Mansion and little bits of Gale of Darkness. Oh, and Pokemon Channel, of course, I played that.
Bring back Pokemon Channel. That's what I want.
It's a generation that I partook in, but only very loosely. Same with the N64, but the N64 is just that little bit too old for me to get into. So this is going to be a part of NSO that I actually, hopefully, use.
I will encourage everyone to use it as much as possible, because these games are really hard to get nowadays, and preserving them is difficult. So the fact that they're doing that in an official capacity is very cool.
Yep. It just makes me curious what will come down the line. Double Dash.
Double Dash, probably both Star Fox games. What else have we?
Eternal Darkness is one that people want to come back as either a remake or a reimagining. So if they were to somehow get a hold of that to publish, that would be.
There's good Mario parties on the GameCube.
And that's as much as I know. Apparently, the GameCube version of The Sims was God tier.
The Sims busting out.
Yeah.
I don't know about God tier, but it was alright.
Okay, fair enough.
I did play a lot of busting out. But
I don't think I should have been playing as much busting out as I was. I, for some reason, remember that game as being not super appropriate for how old I was at the time.
Yeah.
Doshin the Giant.
Uh,
Maybe America could finally experience the joy that is Doshin the Giant. You know.
Did they ever do an HD version of Beautiful Joe?
No,
Don't think
Well.
so.
I don't think so.
That was a GameCube game.
It was.
You know what I did think about?
Turok. No, that was N64. What?
Nintendo, please, you motherfuckers, you fucks, give me the original Animal Crossing, you motherfucker.
Oh, yeah, you can experience being bullied by by cranky villagers.
Give me it. Let me get my golden statue. Let me have horns. Give me it.
I wonder if they
Oh my
would.
God.
I'd be interested in that.
It
For
would
sure.
Be
Like,
sick.
would
It would
the-
be
I-
sick.
And I wonder, like, on the same vein for Pokemon Channel, like how well
Would
the
replay.
clock interacts with NSO
I imagine it would just go off of the clock.
system clock.
Yeah, because I mean,
On the
the
system,
the GameCube didn't connect to the internet when I played it, so I mean, like, and that figured it the fuck out. So
Yeah, that's true.
I imagine it would probably work just fine. The only thing that would be interesting, obviously, this is probably a system level thing they could disable on a per game basis, but all these NSO games typically have save states and rewind. I don't know how you do that with Animal Crossing. So,
Yeah.
um,
You forgot to save.
You
Well, no, I
rewind
didn't.
and then it's just like it's the next day, and you're like, oh.
Yeah, no, that'd be neat.
but
That'd be
I would
interesting.
love to replay. I thought about emulating that and streaming it, and like doing like a mega time travel run through like a year of the game or something as like a playthrough because like regular Animal Crossing, I mean, still holds up. I mean, it's not super outdated feeling. There's still a lot of slow bits in modern Animal Crossing, so it'd be fun. But GameCube, I loved GameCube, so this is cool.
huge.
Yeah.
This is
a lot of fun.
probably like my second most exciting thing today.
So do you think that we see the Wii in 2-3 years time
Oh.
Maybe.
with
They could definitely
mouse
pull up motion
support?
controls.
Yeah,
So I mean,
Link's crossbow
know-
training. I wouldn't mind that.
just regular the original Wii Sports, man, would be huge. Like obviously
yeah.
they have Switch Sports, but I mean like getting to play like, the original Wii Sports and Wii Sports Resort on the Switch would be awesome. Sorry,
I
Switch
think-
2.
That's worthy of a rooftop party.
Yeah, I think now that we have game, start asking. So it's only Nintendo has to listen.
So from there, we got a bunch of sizzle reel shit too. Then we've seen stuff they've announced recently at other directs, like Story of Seasons, and obviously we're getting the Rune Factory game. We're getting a port of Puyo Puyo Tetris, and stuff that makes sense with mouse support, like 2 Point Museum, Civilization, stuff like that. Now I don't know if there's anything within that grouping that you'd really care to discuss before.
I mean, there's
Deltarune is kind of massive.
yeah.
Yeah.
You had Enter the Gungeon 2.
Oh
They're
yeah.
very excitedly working on it.
That guy seemed bummed, dude. I don't know. I'm gonna go back and rewatch that part. The way he, and now I was gonna say during the stream that I felt like I thought they said they weren't making a sequel, unless they just meant they were done iterating on Gungeon 1. But that guy seemed like he was just, and like there was one room shown where he was just fighting like one guy. It was like, they're like, yeah, I guess, man, yeah. Might as well make the second one, I guess.
But yeah, like Cyberpunk Day 1. It's pretty.
Yeah.
I guess that's the Skyrim of this
Elden Ring
one.
and that.
Elden Ring
Yeah,
and
both of
Cyberpunk.
those.
I like the typo on this page. Hollow Knight Silkson.
Dude, I think some of this article has to have been like either typoed or like generated by AI because they seven remake
remakes.
intergrade is on here as Final Fantasy VIII. I know, like I don't know. I got confused for a second when I was reading this list.
I was like, yeah, I don't
I was
remember that
like,
being
wait,
8.
did
but
I
yeah.
sleep?
Eight.
Yeah.
Like I would have been going nuts if they announced some kind of Final Fantasy VIII port.
But yeah, Silk
if-
Song
if-
exists. Oh, sorry.
If Final Fantasy VII Intergrade is affordable, I will probably pick that up. because I don't have Intergrade, and the fact that it can run on a Switch is
Yeah.
kind of crazy.
And the guy said that they're working on bringing the rest of the trilogy, so it's not like, oh yeah, you buy this one and that's as much as the system can handle. Like, they're gonna bring whatever the second one was called, Rebrand.
Rebirth.
I thought, oh yeah, Remake, Rebirth, and then Retribution, whatever.
I think you'll have to pronounce it Retribution, but yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. So yeah, like you could be like, yeah, I'm not gonna be buying it on PlayStation or waiting for it on PC or whatever. I'll just pick it up on the Switch when it comes up. It's neat. Neat for the people that don't want to buy a PlayStation.
Then started the faint sequence. I almost fainted
Fortnite.
today. Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Look, I'm a big Fortnite guy. I've played hundreds of hours of Fortnite. All I talk about with my family is Fortnite. And when they showed it was going to be on Switch 2, what is going on outside? Hold on.
Fortnite party.
Well, while that's
It's out.
happening, I just want to say that apparently they also stealth announced some amiibo.
Yeah, for the for Street Fighter.
No, for Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild.
What?
What?
So Tulin, Yunobo, Riju, and Sidon are all getting amiibo.
Oh my god. What?
And I'm gonna have to fist fight people to get that Sidon, and it's making me sad already.
I guess that makes sense.
I'll link it in Permadeath chat.
Man, I think that was like the surprise of the directors, that amiibo aren't dead.
Yeah, long live
I was-
amiibo.
Fuck. I was just saying yesterday to myself, because I got, oh my god, look at these. I'm buying them all.
Yeah,
You
these are
know,
great. Remember when
fuck
amiibo
me.
looked like crap? Oh,
I was
okay.
just-
Don't scroll down on that page, Abby. That's a spoiler. But that's
Okay.
What's
that's
on there? I'm curious what it is.
well. If you open
Oh,
the
that thing.
yeah,
Oh, well, I mean,
That's a
I guess
pseudo spoiler.
contextless.
yeah, but maybe.
I was just saying to myself, I have the full collection of Tears of the Kingdom amiibo yesterday. I said it to myself out loud.
Yep.
But
And
now you don't.
Okay, so Bill is the room who is bugged.
I have a bad compulsion. Like, I have to complete certain amiibo collections. Like, I have all the Splatoon. I have every Splatoon amiibo. I finally have them all. And then they released more, so I had to buy those. I have the Shulk amiibo coming in. I just got Pyra and Mithra in yesterday. So I'll have every Xenoblade amiibo. Now they fucking do this. I'm going to have to get all the Tears of the Kingdom amiibo.
Yeah.
And it looks like they have been reprinting them, and you can still get the Guardian amiibo, which is probably my favorite one.
That is a great amiibo.
That's a great amiibo.
Anyway, before it sounded like someone was knocking on my window or indoor ceiling. I don't know. It's 12:30 in the afternoon. I don't know if I'm being too loud, but it doesn't really matter in the afternoon. It's reasonable time to speak. But
Yeah.
we got a FromSoft exclusive announced.
Yeah.
Which
Not
if you can go and watch anyone listening to this, either hasn't seen the direct or would like to see our reaction to it. All anyone could say in chat, all anyone could say watching it in general, was that this is just Bloodborne.
This is Bloodborne, right? I don't know anything about FromSoft, but this is Bloodborne 2, right?
Right from the minute
It looks like Bloodborne, but it can't be Bloodborne because
Sony
Sony owns
yeah.
the title.
Legally distinct Bloodborne.
Yeah,
What
it
is in
really
the title? There is something that looks extremely similar to the Yharnam Clock Tower.
That's
I
why
mean,
I thought it was
it's-
Bloodborne. It was very Victorian.
It's so visually Bloodborne, like to
It
the
just
point
looks like a tiny bit more steampunk than I thought Bloodborne was.
there is some interesting stuff going on in there visually. There's like trains, there's like train stations, there's robot people. There,
If it wasn't a FromSoft game, I would have said, "Mum, can we have Bloodborne?" No, we have Bloodborne at home.
And then for the big, mic drop moment of the trailer is that it's exclusive to Switch 2.
Next
And
year.
then, post show, finding out that it's multiplayer focused. We don't know to the extent. There is going to be a developer deep dive on the 4th which that's probably in the treehouse, I would imagine. So I don't know to what extent multiplayer focused means. I don't know if you could play this by yourself. That does kind of hurt it a little bit for me, and I mean, I'm looking forward to it. I mean, it's not like I don't have friends who will play this with me, but I do like it when co-op games allow you to play alone if you don't have anyone to play with at the exact moment you want to sit down and play the game. Especially because it's so evocative of Bloodborne that it's like, if I need to always have friends around to play this, that's kind of a bummer. Or if I have to play with fucking goofy randoms, I would like to not have to do that. So I'm curious to see. But directed by Miyazaki, very evocative of Bloodborne, FromSoft exclusive. I don't know how Nintendo swung that.
They were probably like, "Hey, we know you want to make Bloodborne 2. You want to,
give me all this money.
you want to do it, but just call it something else. You could put blood in the name if you really."
Yeah.
So, what I couldn't hear anything, but the trailer ends with like a 5 to 10 second clip on just like a rat with wings.
Yeah,
and I don't. Is that a thing?
Total silence. It was total silence too. There wasn't.
Okay.
Even, it was so weird. It was such a weird moment in the trailer. But, when the trailer started, and the woman was talking as she was like touching the hand, it sounded like Bloodborne. But I didn't immediately react as if it was, because I know Bloodborne is a Sony IP. I wouldn't expect it here. And then FromSoft came on the screen, and it was like, and then the clock tower, and it's like, this is fucking Yarnum. I don't know. It's wild. I'm excited. I'm excited about it. I almost fainted. And then they go right from that, as I'm already experiencing lightheadedness, they go into
a black
Sakurai's
screen.
next game.
Black screen, little twinkles.
And I forget. Let me go back in our group chat. Did I say anything about Kirby Air Ride?
Probably at some point. I don't. Oh, when we were talking about like what Sakurai could be working on, and everyone was
March
obviously
27th, 2025. I said, "Give me Kirby Air Ride." That was only a few days ago.
We're bugged.
We get Sakurai's next big game is Kirby Air Riders, and this feels to me like Sakurai's like, I want to make this place.
Yeah.
This is my passion right now. I want to make Kirby Air Ride again.
Because he's not been involved with Kirby for a while, right? Because it is a HAL product and he is independent.
Yeah.
Like, dude, this thing has been dormant since the fucking GameCube. Like, and by the way, anyone listening, you haven't played Kirby Air Ride, I highly recommend.
Maybe it'll be on NSO.
It has a
Again, this is nice because Kirby Air Ride in the UK costs like 200 quid.
Yeah, I could never
put it
do
on
it.
the GameCube app. Put it on the GameCube app.
Yeah, do it.
But yeah, I don't know what it is with them with Kirby trailers making everything or anything with Kirby in it, making it such dire straits.
I really thought it was Smash for a second because it just had that Smash vibe about it, you know?
Well, because there were like streaks of light. One went down, one went sideways, and you're like, okay, yeah, that is the Smash logo. And Sakurai loves putting Kirby as the hero. And then it wasn't. And then it ended by saying that Sakurai was the one actually directing it. And you're like, good. Give him something that he wants to do. Let him cook.
City Trial is such a good mode. It's like a big open world city thing with stuff doing it. I just knowing how hard Sakurai goes when he iterates on something. So, like, you look at where Smash ended up. It's fucking insane. Like, Smash Ultimate is a ridiculous game. Like, insane video game with just a ridiculous amount of love and content poured into it. Like, this game's gonna go nuts. We don't know much about it, obviously, besides that it exists and that Sakurai's doing it. But,
And it's this year?
Yeah, which is even more surprising because of Mario Kart.
And because we're already going to be... like, so when the Switch came out and they're saying, oh yeah, this stuff is coming out this year, it's like, understandable. We still have 90% of the year left. We're coming out in the beginning of March. Switch 2 coming out halfway through the year, and you're still being like, yeah, here's all this stuff in 2025. Like, oh, It's quite packed.
Then we had our final announcement.
I thought
Everyone
it was going to be Mario.
Everyone expecting
and-
3D Mario, and the world I think is expecting 3D Mario at that point. And we get these glimpses of open world, not open world, but like explorable space. These cappy looking eyeballs. It's like, oh, this is Odyssey 2. This is Odyssey 2. And then he shows his face. It's Donkey Kong. And he's having a bonanza.
You
I hate
pronounced
how
it Bonanza. It's
good.
it's written Bonanza.
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 I have been a Donkey Kong hater since I played
Donkey Kong.
Donkey Kong. It was reiterated to me that I was a Donkey Kong hater when I played Donkey Kong 64.
Did you ever
I
play like
really...
Tropical Freeze and Country and
No, because I'm a Donkey Kong hater.
Well, also because you're not. You also don't like 2D, so it's like you're.
I don't like 2D, and I'm a Donkey Kong hater, so it was like two things that I hate.
Yeah.
I'm gonna buy this.
Yeah.
I'm gonna buy this and I'm gonna play it because I
looks good.
love 3D platformers and 3D exploration games and stuff like that. I think they're awesome. I like when Nintendo does them because they have a lot of character. And Donkey Kong is no longer a monkey just wearing a tie. Now he has dungarees. So...
Sometimes, and he has a different face. He has a
hat
more.
sometimes.
And
He looks like Seth Rogen now.
destroys the world at will. He just rips up the ground and murders people with it. I'm curious as to how destructible the world is. Like, could you screw yourself if you destruct too much? Is it based on a stamina? I don't know.
There's many questions.
There are many
Maybe
questions.
We'll see in the tree.
Maybe we will. I am on the fence on whether I would play it. I will withhold judgment until seeing more of the game, but it definitely seemed neat. And then Bill died.
Yep, and then we didn't hear from Bill ever again.
Yeah. This episode is actually pulled completely from previous episodes and recordings. I've stitched it together.
Just pieced my voice together.
Yeah, it's like AI.
Yeah.
We made an AI for Bill now.
That's why he doesn't swear as much, because I'm in control. I wrote the
Yeah,
script.
I haven't cursed this whole episode. I haven't cursed the whole
Yes, you have.
Fuck that, man. I haven't said a goddamn swear, man. I haven't said anything. I've been clean. I've been family friendly.
You have been cleaner than normal.
I'm so clean, dude. I'm so clean. You wanna, go listen to this back and do a count, and
And what if it's under a certain amount? You'll buy me a Switch too.
No, let's not get fucking. So yeah, I mean, overall, let's say a scale of 1 to 10. How would you grade this presentation today?
Are we basing it solely on the presentation, or all the other stuff that we have now heard?
Okay,
because there's been pros to the like we've learned more about Yakuza 0 that wasn't in the presentation. That would have lifted that up, but we've learned more in terms of like prices and pre-order process and things like that. That brings it down.
I'll say this: grade the day.
Grade the day. Okay.
Yeah. Presentation, information that's come out since. I mean, pricing. All that stuff to me is included in the experience.
Yeah.
Of being in this Discord call for the last almost 5 hours.
Sorry.
Experiencing the direct and all of its preceding and post show information.
I'm gonna give it an 8.26.
Okay. I was gonna say an 8.5, maybe a little higher. Bill?
Oh yeah, I go about an 8. Yeah.
Honestly, and it feels bad to be like docking so much because of it, but like the price of game weirdness is like the biggest. Like if prices of games were the same, it would easily be like a 9.5. I
would
had a
probably rate it
very
higher
good day.
if game pricing was a little different. It is like the one sticking point, and it's one of those things where, like, I'm gonna see people complain about it, and it's one of those few things where I will see people complain about it and not be like, "Oh, shut the fuck up."
Yeah, you'd be like,
it's
yeah, you are right.
yeah, it's like, yeah, it does suck. It does suck. And it does scare me in its future implications as far as, you know, Grand Theft Auto. Everybody has talked about that game, and people saying, "Oh, but
$100.
I think they want it to cost $100,"
Yeah.
and I've always been like, "There's no fucking way they're gonna do that," but I think it's possible.
Yeah.
Now after seeing today, and so, you know, but again, state of the world. Also, I don't know if this is due to tariffs, but I hope people think it is, because I want people to have found out, as they say in the FAFO timeline of fuck around and find out. But again, it's gonna hurt people's wallets. I mean, it's gonna suck, you know. And
I forget, is the Switch region locked?
No.
Do we think the Switch 2 is?
No. I think it would be ridiculous of them to go back on that.
Oh, I guess it would have to be, because if you had like imported, and then
yeah, because if I had
your back
imported,
compat wouldn't work.
If the games that I've imported don't work backwards compatible because they've decided to region lock this one, the day would be downgraded to like a 6. You know,
because it's not even just like importing to get around stuff like Fangamer or whatever, where they're like, yeah, we're gonna produce physical versions of this game, but it's a US game. Yeah, that's fair. No, I think all told, I am very satisfied with the day. I am now counting down the days till, was it Thursday and Friday, Saturday, Thursday, Friday for the Treehouse. And then I'll count down the days until the Mario Kart Direct. And then I have nothing until June 5th. And then
but
hopefully
that's going to be a great day.
Hopefully
if we all get our pre-orders.
Get our pre-orders, get them delivered on time, and hopefully they'll then be like a week or two later, a Summer Games Fest type direct thing of just like, yeah, here's even more stuff. Or do you think that they've gone heavy enough in this that they're like, nah, nothing till September now? You've had your fill.
I don't think they've gone heavy enough for that. I think I'm still kind of hoping that they'll have similar to 2017, where they had a big thing happen monthly. I
guess, like, this was, aside from like the odd thing, this was very 2025 focus. I guess if they were to do like an E3 type thing, they'd be like, okay, here's the stuff for 2026, maybe a little bit of that, and then maybe a tease of things a little bit further beyond. But yeah, it hasn't been bad the last couple of years, but it's nice to be excited again.
Yeah, I'm not excited yet because I don't have a pre-scared, but once I have the pre-order, I will be excited.
Yeah, that's fair.
Only 2 months away too. I mean, that's the other thing, is like what adds to the pre-order stress is that, like, for me to keep saying like, oh man, 2 months I'll be playing Mario Kart, but like, am I going to be able to fucking
yeah, you don't know.
I guess, you know, operating under the assumption that yes, we will all be able to get one in 2 months. We'll be playing Mario Kart together.
2 months and 3 days.
Yeah, like, I'm excited. You know, and I've been playing my Switch a lot due to Xenoblade, and obviously playing Mario Kart with you guys. So like, I've been, you know, kind of in the Nintendo mood recently, and you know, it made me really excited for today. And you know, I'm not any less excited. I know there's some sticking points that are sucky, like price, and you know, there's going to be some negativity online due to that. I wish it was all positive, you know, in terms of sentiment and just discussion in general. But you know, it doesn't take away that. Yeah, I'm stoked. In 2 months, we'll have new Nintendo hardware.
You'll be carrying it around
with a handle, man. That thing, you know, when I think about the Switch, one of the things that's always been tough is, you know, putting it in my pocket. It's not really a portable console in that way. But now I'll be able to actually have a handle on it, you know, which is nice.
Can we also?
But for real, we did know someone who used to carry their Switch around in pocket in like
Yeah.
the back pocket of
Yeah.
their jeans.
Damn.
He
bent his
sat on it.
switch.
He sat on it. And he was like,
Like-
that doesn't sound good. And it was a different shape afterwards.
Like
Yep.
sat on it repeatedly.
No, just well, I mean, he did because it was in his back pocket, but he sat on it badly once. Yeah.
I'm not laughing at.
You
their
know who
theme.
you
It's
are
just-
if you're listening. You know who you
It's
are.
just funny that it's like, it's a portable. It
Yeah,
should
yeah.
fit in my fucking pocket.
It's not like everyone kept telling you this is a horrible idea. What if you sit on it and bend it? And you go,
I mean,
nah,
it's-
it wouldn't happen.
It's the it's the cat thing. If I fits, I sit. What is it? If it
Yeah.
fits, I sit.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know. So it fit.
I like that so when they were doing like we're going back a bit, but the hardware demonstration of like how the magnets work, they had that CG hand really yanking on the like it was going ham trying to rip the Joy-Con off. And I'm sure that someone is going to try and work out what the strength of that connector is. And they're going to be
I'm
like,
sure
this isn't good enough.
There's that YouTube channel that like tests the durability of stuff. I don't know if you ever watched that, where like he'll like test a scratch resistance of screens and the shells, and like he'll like break it apart. I'm sure we'll get a Switch 2 video from that guy, and
Like the
we'll see
opposite of
how
hydraulic
powerful the
press.
magnets are. Yeah, I'm super curious because it's nice that they stick and they lock, and so there's no way for ever to accidentally slide out. But I wonder how many people are going to forget that you have to unlock it and just like really rip their shit up. But aesthetically in the magnets, and I really like the look of everything. I think the dock having a fan is interesting.
Yeah. Like actively cool. I mean, I guess that's how they get that 4K going is
It's like the
it
current
needs
dock
active cooling.
The current dock is just a fucking hunk of plastic. So
I wonder how much a separate dock's gonna cost.
I think it's like 100 something, 110 or something like that.
So what was the need for the cost of the dock before? Because the docks were like
It was just an HDMI.
super
Output.
expensive.
Yeah,
Yeah.
ridiculous. Especially when you take the current dock. I'm looking at it right now because I had to move my shit around the other day. Like I had my Switch out of it. That current dock now, when you take the Switch out of it and nothing's plugged into it, that is like the lightest piece of shit.
It is
Like-
it is literally an HDMI port, a power port, and 2 or 3 USB ports. Because
cost
because
is
the OLED
insane.
one comes with the LAN. You're like, okay, that's the benefit of that.
Yeah.
But there's no active cooling. There's not. It's
Oh.
it's literally
this
just
one
like a dock.
Does this one have a LAN port? I assume it does. I didn't see it.
The original does not. You had to buy an adapter.
Well, for the Switch 2. For the
I would have to go back and watch that particular thing when they're showing off the active cooling. But I think the OLED dock does, so it'd be weird for them to not. But I guess anything is possible.
Yeah.
But even so, it's got a fan in it, so that's going to help.
Yeah. I've got really nothing else in my brain at the moment. Obviously, there's a lot of information online still coming out. Is there anything that they didn't cover that you were hoping to see in relation to whether it's UI related, system related? I'm sure they're gonna. I mean, in the Treehouse is coming up. There's a lot of information still to come, and I'm sure they're going to do another direct or another presentation or something, maybe even closer, or I don't know, something. We're gonna get more shit. this year
I
from
would
them,
assume that like the Nintendo Today app is going to be like, here's like every other day or whatever. It's like, here's a mini deep dive. I don't know what you'd call it, a shallow dive into this particular thing. I would have liked for them to, and it's not something that they would have covered in this kind of presentation, themes and eShop improvements.
Yes.
God, they can't make the eShop any worse. So.
It's so slow and
like
ass.
if they keep the same eShop and it's literally just running on more powerful hardware, maybe it'll be fine. But yeah,
I'm not convinced.
no. Especially if they're going to be trying to push people to go more digital, that it needs to improve.
I mean, the Switch Online app too on the system, where you go in and like buy the avatars and like do all that stuff, is so slow to open, and I don't understand quite why. I don't know. It's like just a bunch of menus.
I've always just assumed it's because it's old hardware that was old at the time, that was underpowered because they were desperate to get something out after the Wii U.
Because like, besides stuff like that, like I think the layout of the UI on the Switch has always been fine. I just would like some more personality to it. Give me some themes. Obviously, there's people out there who like the more minimalist nature for it. Good, let them keep that if they want it.
Folders would have been nice. It's just like general sort of like little UI things that would never come up in a presentation. I'd be like, I just want to know this stuff.
Maybe that'll be Treehouse. I mean, we have 2 days of Treehouse stuff. So, they announced the lineup of the Treehouse.
Oh, okay.
April 3rd, April 4th, 9 a.m. Eastern, which is what for y'all? 2 o'clock?
Yeah.
They'll be going into Mario Kart, obviously. Game Chat, Mario Party Jamboree, Drag Drive, Street Fighter, going into the Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom upgrades, the Switch 2 Welcome Tour, Donkey Kong, Bravely Default, Kirby and the Forgotten Land, GameCube Nintendo Classics, and then Metroid Prime 4.
So is it the same stuff each day, or is it like half on one, half on the other?
This is just, I don't know.
Or is that just for the third?
This looks like it's for both days.
Okay.
I imagine the big finisher will be Metro.
Yeah.
I'm still not seeing a whole lot of that game.
This is in, the list is the order
that they're showing in.
That they're showing.
Yeah, okay.
In. Apparently, this was shown in the last 30 seconds of the Direct. I guess we just missed it.
Really?
Maybe on the North American one, not
maybe. Yeah, we watched the UK. Okay, yeah. I mean, I'll watch however long they show me Mario Kart 4 tomorrow.
Did I say Game Chat?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. They're gonna be deep diving into that too, which is cool. I imagine in doing so, we'll also see a lot more of the UI as well. So
okay.
Maybe we'll get some little things. You know?
I know that we're vaguely wrapping up, but because they have introduced a Nintendo camera that plugs into the top, do you think that we are going the way of more peripherals again, or is this just like a one-off? Because I know people were like, oh, what if you were able to connect your Switch 1 through like a cable into the top of the Switch 2 and make a DS or a Wii U? And we're like, what the hell are you talking about, you moron?
I wouldn't put it past Nintendo to, even if it doesn't include using the Switch 1, I wouldn't put it past Nintendo to sell some kind of attachable,
like a second screen
thing that will connect through that port, that will allow them to add DS and 3DS games to NSO. I wouldn't put it past them. They've made alarm clocks. They've made Labo. They've made Ring Fit. They've now made a camera. They've made modern versions of their retro controllers. They've made all kinds of wacky shit.
They made a printer.
I would not put it past them to find a way to sell you a second screen in some way, and maybe you'd be able to use your Switch 1 if you don't want to buy that thing, but I'm sure they want to sell you that thing. So I don't know, but I hope so, because I like goofy peripherals. I think Nintendo is at its most charming, even if it's not something I'm going to buy, when they're making wacky ass shit. And I like that they, even though the Switch was a course correct for the Wii U, I like that they still made wacky ass shit on the Switch, and it was successful as far as I know. I mean, they don't continue to make Labo, but they kept making it, and there was a lot of it, and it was fun. It's not something I would have ever bought, and I never bought it, but I hope they do, because like I like that Nintendo. Oh my god! And they made fucking Mario Kart for your house. They make all kinds of. I hope so. That's in short TLDR.
Okay.
I hope so.
TLDR, maybe. But yeah, I think that's everything that I'm aware of.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Yeah, I had a good time watching it. I thought it was good. I'm excited. I'm excited to hopefully the next time we do an episode, we'll be
either more informed or just because
we've got it.
Yeah, we got it,
and we're enjoying it.
Mm.
And we're fresh off like a Mario Kart stream, and we're like, this is the best day of our lives. And
I will say, I joked about it. I like the Battle Royale mode in Mario Kart. I'm never going to see those last two races. I'm very disappointed that they'd cut out half of the game to me, or a quarter of the game to people in my skill level.
You don't know. Maybe your secret power.
Oh yeah, when I play as the penguin, I'll suddenly pop off.
It is very interesting.
Ebby's like, you bastard! I was about to go.
It is. Yeah, sorry. I'm very hungry.
You're good. You're good.
Well. Yeah, it is very interesting to me how stuck on the Battle Royale idea Nintendo has become since Tetris 99, in that they will add it to fucking anything.
But in ways that oddly make sense.
No, they work. That's the thing, is they do work. It's not just like you drop in and no, like it works within the confines of the rules of the game that they're putting it in. Like Mario Party, the way that it works. In this, it's a cross-country drive where you're driving across the world and people get left behind. They don't make it to checkpoints before others and get eliminated. It works so well, like on paper, that it's like, yeah, perfect fucking idea. Like you're in this like the fucking the great race type shit. It's like, hell yeah. Like I love that they're so stuck on it because they keep doing it in ways that work. So exciting.
So yeah, game chat useful for that.
Very.
I'm so excited to play Mario Kart. Please let me have one.
Yeah, Mario Kart. It looks like a GOTY contender type of game. So, to me, yeah. All right. Well, thank you for watching this.
Yes.
Episode of I thought I was thanking you. Did you think I was thanking you for watching this with me? No, I was thanking the people watching the episode for watching the episode. Is this episode? Is this an episode?
I'm not going to number it.
I think we should.
Okay. Episode 51. You hear it here
we
first.
We made it.
Yay!
Hooray.
It's long
Just another
enough.
10 years.
Hello,
until we
welcome
get
to episode 51.
What's the length on this?
Just about 2 hours.
Oh, yeah, that's an episode, baby. Yeah, hell yeah.
Okay.
Episode
midweek
51.
episode. I've never done that.
About to switch to. You're welcome, everyone. Welcome back.
Yeah.
By the way, it's been almost a year since episode 50.
Yeah.
So
we'll be making like Evan said, we'll make episode 100 in 2075.
I actually am existentially depressed that that was a year ago.
Yeah.
I feel like we just made that, and then we just made the joke about how it's been 10 years and 50 episodes only. Yeah. And now it's been 11 years and 51 episodes.
I keep saying it. I just need to pin you guys down more for something, even if it's not 100% episodes. Just like
to be honest, if you weren't doing anything, Permadeath would have died a long time ago.
You hear that, guys? It's my fault.
The beating heart.
Yeah. Well, the stubborn AED. Yeah. Thank you very much, everyone, for listening. Thank you, Abby and Bill, for joining me.
For hanging. Yeah,
it's fun.
I had a good time today. I'm glad I took off work for it.
Yeah.
And
you hear that, Bill's work? You hear what he's doing on his day off?
I took off for this. And also, if you're listening at Kinross's job, you've probably already gotten the request email.
They're not going to see it till Friday. They're off till Friday.
Hear him type it live. If you ever wanted to hear what it's like for your coworker to type his PTO request out loud.
Discussing it, outsourcing how long, community funding, how long to take the leave for.
Yeah, input from chat.
It went from 2 days to 7 to maybe 12.
That's a lot of Mario Kart.
I know, right? But I've got Yakuza as well.
Yeah.
Right. Raid mode. I'm excited. But so look forward to that. I'm sure we'll be making a bunch of stuff Switch 2 related as information is out and as we get closer to the system, and as it gets in our hands. So,
Mhm.
good luck everybody getting your hands on one, pre-ordering one.
Thank
whenever the holidays
you.
go live.
Yeah.
I think they go live next week. I think
Yeah.
April 8th.
Yeah, next Tuesday.
Yeah, and
Tell us down
How do
below
you-
what your favorite thing or least favorite thing
Yeah.
was. Engagement.
yeah.
Tell us if you sat on your original Switch when
Yeah.
it was in your back pocket and if it bent.
Maybe there was more. Maybe there's more. Maybe it wasn't just the one. It turns out like it's been like an endemic issue.
And we know that one was definitely listening at least a year ago, you know.
Yeah.
How much of the Switch was hanging out of his pocket?
Like one
Not
Joy-Con.
much. He had very, very deep back
Yeah.
pockets on his jeans.
Nice.
I think like the one Joy-Con was sticking out because I was like, "You're gonna break that stick," and he's like, "Nah," and he was right. He didn't break the stick. I did when I fell on my Switch. I broke the stick, but he did not. Sorry,
Fell on
they
your
did
Switch?
not. That would be spoilers if I gendered them.
How did you fall on your Switch?
I tripped and fell onto the sofa and I broke one of my Joy-Con. And then I sold it, and CEX didn't notice the broken stick.
Don't admit to that.
I could cut that.
If you're listening, hey, I mean, I got a free 2DS XL from Target.
Oh yeah, you did.
Yeah.
Hey,
A
those
lot of-
things are worth like mad money right now.
A lot of crimes being revealed here on this podcast.
Look, they tested
I've
it.
always been well behaved,
Yeah.
and I've never done anything wrong.
You highlighted when someone sold you a counterfeit from CEX.
I did, and now it's changed
Nice.
because they have a separate listing for Pro controllers that come from Wish. So
Oh, interesting.
you can thank me for that. So you're not getting ripped off when you want
Xenoblade controller.
a Xenoblade 2 controller from secondhand stores in the UK.
Anyway, yes. Goodbye. Thank you.
Bye.
See you
Peace out
around.
to
We'll
you
see
in
if-
the future,
What?
motherfucker.
No.